What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Age of Quarantine. Crazy fucking week. My name is David Castillo, and I am your host. Thank you for joining us. I have a great guest today. His name is Jay. He's a singer of Mindforce and Pillars of Ivory. Really cool bands from the Hudson Valley. Mindforce put out Excalibur was amazing. 2018, probably my favorite hardcore record of that year, or at least one of the tops. We can't qualify that much. So we're just gonna wait for Jay to come on. Cheers, guys! I'm drinking a little bit of Three Floyds today. One of my favorite breweries. We got the weed out. We got everything ready. Shout out to the Hudson Valley. It's already popping in the comments. And so I see Mindforce joined up just now. Just waiting for the request. I got a little whiskey too. It's Friday, man. It's been I got some Eagle Rare. I need to fucking, just fucking take the edge off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here's the request. Boop, boop, boo. Fuck. The GOAT VSOP legend from Tyler Hart. Wow. Strong praise. Jay, what's up, dude? How's it going?
What up? How are you?
I'm good, man. Just fucking, cheers, man. It's been a long, anxiety-ridden week, but we're here hanging with you. Thanks for taking the time out to do this, to hang out with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the invite. Thank you.
For sure, man. It just kind of popped into my mind after seeing a song drop for the new record, and I was like, we got to get these guys on the show.
Yeah.
So here at the Age of Quarantine, we kind of start from the beginning. We just want to kind of talk about your life in music, really. So are you from the Hudson Valley originally? Where exactly are you from up there? I'm from Long Island, so I have a bad concept of upstate. I'm horrible.
Yeah. I'm originally from upstate, the Hudson Valley. Originally, I think I was born in Connecticut, but my parents lived in a town called Pleasantville, and then we moved a little further north in the Hudson Valley. Not too long after they moved there and had me.
Gotcha. So you grew up over there and stuff like that. What were your earliest experiences with music? Did you come from like a musical family? Any family members, anything like that were influenced you in that, or not so much?
Yeah. My grandfather, my papi, he was a singer. He was a talented singer. And my father, he doesn't have a lot of good rhythm, but he can play a little piano. And my mom I guess you could say she's musical in a way. She's a dancer. So
that's very
I come from a family that, and they promoted me doing music at an early age. They had me take piano lessons and shit like that,
Yeah, that's great. It's really interesting to me when people kind of have.
What up, Ben?
To have people in their family that encourage them to play, music, and it could set you off on that path completely. So, Poppy was a singer, Mom was a dancer, so it was sort of in you a little bit. What was it like when you first started just listening to music? What was like the earliest memories of like finding a piece of music that you loved?
Well, it's funny you asked me this, man. Somebody just asked me this. And my first earliest memories of music that I loved were like TV show themes when I was mad young, real young. Like, I really liked the A-Team and Knight Rider and shit like that.
Yo, A-Team was all me. I wanted to be Murdoch from A-Team.
Like, Murdoch? You were a Murdoch man?
That was my guy.
I was more of a Hannibal man myself, but I feel that. Yeah,
You're a man with a plan. I'm not.
I don't know,
So A-Team, those are good.
Shit like that, I remember I got this tape that had all the themes on it, Magnum PI, all this dope shit, all this cool shit. Yeah.
I used to put on Channel 11 and just like rip as like a little kid. I fucking love that shit.
WPIX?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's my shit, dude.
Love
it.
If you know, you know. Some
of the best action movies I saw for the first time on that channel.
Yeah, definitely, and it would be like 18 marathons and shit.
Oh yeah, word.
That was on
Yeah.
me, and I loved all those theme songs too and stuff like that too. I like it was something I definitely kind of grew up around and was like always kind of humming along. And honestly, it was really like 80s TV and like 80s pop music. Like was I'm Colombian, so it was like the first really like English language music I really like listened to. My parents listened to like salsa and merengue and vallenato and stuff. It wasn't really, so like Michael Jackson, Madonna, and like
Love Madonna, man.
American, the best, and American, kind of TV and stuff. So I totally relate in terms of that. What was it like once you started kind of getting a little bit older and kind of coming up with your own sort of musical tastes? When was like, hey, I'm going to go and start buying my first records, and you start becoming, having your own identity?
I don't know. Probably just like pop shit when I was young, like around 5th grade. Pop shit. I always listen to music, but I think the first CDs I bought were I want to say Ice-T, Original Gangster, and also TLC on the TLC tip.
Oh yeah, the first one where they were wearing like condoms in their eyeglasses.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love TLC. I fuck with that heavy.
Yeah, so, man.
I know the real ones know. You know what I'm saying? If you're down with the Titty Lips crew, that's what it is. So yeah, I kind of started the same way, and then I started kind of getting into like punk pretty much, like especially like kind of like street punk shit and things on that sort of level. What started pulling you into underground music and shit like that?
Oh shit, probably like at first skating. Getting into skating with my friends and that type of alternative world, seeing bands and Thrasher, and just hanging out with those characters around town. And I remember, also skaters and like dudes that did drugs and shit, just different type of people, freak shows I was hanging out with. And, they started talking about hardcore and shit. And I went straight to hardcore. I went from like listening to hip hop to hardcore. I didn't get into punk. I went around it.
Got it. So hip hop was the precursor to hardcore, though. Were you listening to hip hop kind of heavy before hardcore?
Yeah, I was listening to hip hop, and then I sort of was listening to like, for a moment, like nu metal type shit, like Rage Against the Machine. Like somebody was like, "Oh, you like rapping?" One of the dudes like, "Well, listen, this dude's rapping over metal," shit like that. And I loved it, I still like them. I still love them. Yeah.
Great. I absolutely love them as well. And I think that is very evocative of like, how old are you, by the way, Jay?
I'm 40. I'm an ancient. I'm an ancient owl.
Yeah, I'm 37, and so I know that we're around the same ages, and so I think that it was really, those things really went so hand in hand when we were growing up. Like, to me, all the cool hardcore kids like loved hip hop and would talk about all these records that they liked, or did graffiti, or all those things. And that stuff is kind of coming back now a little bit, those tie-ins, I think. But when we were coming up, I think the crossover was really deep. And for me, it was hardcore that led me to learn about like kind of underground hip hop, especially on Long Island with like Def Jux and A$AP Rock and stuff like that, So when you were kind of getting into hardcore and stuff like that, where was the gateway points? Because you said like Rage was maybe the thing that was in between. What kind of put you into the scene a little bit more? What was that band that you fucking loved?
Well, after I got into them for a minute, somebody showed me Inside Out because they had the same singer. They were like, "This is a hardcore band." And at the same time, I heard some local hardcore bands like All Out War, this band Dissolve from my area, and a lot of Connecticut bands too, because where I'm from is right next to Connecticut. I was going to as many shows in Connecticut as I was in the Hudson Valley.
Got it. See, that's always so interesting to me. It's like how kids from Buffalo like go to like Toronto for shows and stuff. They have this connection to Canadian hardcore that I kind of, if you're not from there, you kind of don't understand it. To me, Connecticut's like a different fucking world, but for you, it was really part of your experience, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
How far away was that for you, like growing up, to just kind of get over there? Was it like an easy trip? And what were some of your kind of favorite spots that you would hit up?
In Connecticut?
Yeah.
Oh, everywhere. I love the Hanover House in Meriden, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Legion in Wallingford. There was a time when I loved going to Tuxedo Junction when they had shows before they stopped. New Milford Teen Center. I went all over there, man. Going there is just like going to Long Island for me, or the city. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's really close.
Yeah, that's really wild to me. Like, just because my map was always like, I'm from Nassau County, so it was always Suffolk, you know, going this way or going into the city, and then it would be like leaping into Jersey or something. But I didn't really go to Connecticut that much for shows, even though there was great shit going on. I just kind of, it would kind of hit around my area a little bit at one point or another. And I think that really, that map, especially kind of before the internet was really taking off to like shape your tastes, it really was what you could kind of get your hands on, right? What were some of those local bands? You mentioned a couple of them just now that like you would say would also played like a big part in your kind of development in terms of your taste and stuff.
Oh man, at the time there was a bunch of bands. Well, All Out War is probably the most well-known one. I hear my dog whining for a minute. Hold on a minute.
No, it's all right. Take care of the dog, dude.
What's up, Toots? You all right? Okay, girl? Hey, come here. I'm sorry, man.
No, that's all right, dude.
Come here.
This is a live program. I love it. I love the dogs. My dog is live right now. We're good, you know?
I don't know how yeah. What's up, girl? She's a 6-month-old puppy, so I always got her.
Yeah, got to make sure. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful thing. This is art. This is filmmaking now.
What up, girl? Yeah, she was asleep downstairs, so I don't really.
Yeah, dude.
She's good though.
As long as she's cool, then we're good. You know, we got to make sure things are right. I had
somebody will come get her in a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you still living in the Hudson Valley right now? Where are you at?
Yeah. I love this place, man. I'll probably never leave. I feel like I'm so far away and yet so close to everything that I love. So I like it that way. I like being a little off the grid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, within striking distance, but not too far. You know, from any one thing. I totally understand that and stuff. Growing up in the Hudson Valley and stuff like that, you were kind of getting into the scene. Obviously, you said All Out War was a big band for you growing up. That just
that's why I was talking about the bands before. The
I
dog.
feel like All Out War for you is probably like VOD or Silent Majority for me. That were just like these are the local bands that blew my mind. I'm like, I can't believe these motherfuckers are from Belmore. Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, just totally can't believe that they're from my area.
That's okay. Don't worry about it, Abby. Sorry, it's my daughter and the dog. I'm so sorry, man.
No, it's all good. Well, it's all good. We're hanging out.
Yeah, this other band dissolved besides All Out War just as much. This other band dissolved that I love. And, you know, a couple other bands like people may not know, End of One. Dope band from my area. One of the first, like, death metal hardcore bands, you could say, ever. Then this other band, Eye to Eye. I loved all these bands.
Eye to Eye, yeah. See,
bands probably not a lot of people know unless you're from around here, you know.
Yeah, but I love that because that was like the regionalism of these scenes that like really kind of tweak people's kind of, you know, like different kind of perspectives, you know. I only lived on Long Island and it was another fucking planet.
Hold on. That's my daughter. Hold on. Probably the one with the dog, sitting on the dog, watching the show.
Oh, I see. Oh, this camera right here, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
You're on TV, man. It's good. I love it.
No, that's my daughter down in the basement.
Down in the basement. You got spies all over the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had moms in the chat, uncles, you know, it's all good. Asia Quarantine's a family affair. We love it. It's very good. So we have those sort of bands. When do you think that maybe you wanted to give it a go to become a musician, to perform, to be part of the hardcore scene?
Pretty soon after I started going to hardcore shows, I was like, yo, I want to play in a band. So I was in a handful of shitty bands for a while. But great memories. You know what I mean? Great memories with great people, and yeah, probably right away I started wanting to be involved in everything.
Was it always in the capacity of being the singer of the band?
No, I was a drummer for probably from like when I was a kid in my teenage years until my late 20s. I was a drummer.
Oh shit! Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's kind of like my main instrument. That's like my main instrument.
That's cool. What brought you there? Why did drums kind of draw you in? Because I mean, I only know you as a singer.
Oh, when I was a little kid, well, my parents, they wanted me to play music and sports, and they wanted me involved in the arts and also in athletics. So the first instrument I chose to play was the piano, and I really didn't like it. My teacher was kind of mean. She used to hit my hands with a thing.
Oh shit!
And not that that's bad or anything. But it was just I was like, I didn't like it, and so I was like, I don't want to play this. And my parents were like, well, you got to pick something to play. You know what I mean? You like music, and I was like, all right, I'll do the drums. And then I played the drums since I was a little kid up until now. I play drums in a couple of my projects I'm doing right now. So.
Cool. Yeah, with like just different, and you're into production and like all of this other stuff, and it's really once you get especially the Pillars of Ivory and stuff like that, I think you're going to see the convergence of these experiences between getting into hip hop and getting into skating and then hardcore, and how they all kind of come together sort of at the end here. So you just decided, okay, cool, and then I mean, being a drummer is kind of great, right? Because people need drummers. They need fucking drummers.
I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Right?
It can get annoying. Actually, I got to be honest. I love drumming, but I hate it. I don't like being a drummer, man. I hate carrying all that the fucking gear. That shit sucks, man. I used to have to carry that shit everywhere. And I was always in bands with, POI. The world can't touch POI. I see that guy. But yeah, I was always in bands with cool guys who helped me load my drums in, but I still hated that shit, man.
Yeah, that shit is it's really something. So when did you get to the point where it was Living Laser like the first moment of singing, or was there like some transitional period between?
Yeah, Living Laser. Yeah, I sang in a couple bands that weren't hardcore bands. One band I kind of sang at the same time with some other people. Doing harmonies and shit, and then another band like we had different singers, and I sang a couple songs, but it wasn't until Living Laser till I became like a lead singer. You know what I mean? Got
it. And what were those bands that when you started singing in those other bands that it kind of? Well, first of all, what kinds of music were you playing, and did it give you some confidence to go, hey, you know what? Maybe I could step into that singer role, but maybe in a hardcore band.
Yeah, honestly, I never thought about it like that, but it probably did give me some confidence, But it just seemed like a natural progression at the time. But they were one band was kind of like a guided by voices type thing, and another band was we were all over the place, man. We were all over the place. We did everything. It was kind of like a collective of musicians who all had. There was one main songwriter, the bass player of Mindforce, and then some other guys had some songs too. I don't even know how to describe it, honestly.
Sure. But it's also just, I think it's important to talk about these things because as a musician, being able to experiment and do stuff around different genres, other things, you can kind of bring some of that stuff back in and you learn shit, right? You just like learn different things by playing with different people and kind of writing songs with different people. And it kind of, to me, it makes, me better when I've made, different things like that. And if that's the first times that you were singing too, I mean, to me, that might be, it's not what everybody knows, but it gave you these moments to just play around, to be like, hey, maybe this is what's up.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And then with Living Laser, how did that sort of come together? And what was the beginnings of that band? Because it definitely had a lot of legs, especially around the Hudson Valley scene, and then it started expanding outwards a bunch.
Yeah, Living Laser. You know, was Mike had started that band, and they were looking for a singer, and I was like, yo, I really wish I was more of a singer because I know just what it needs. And I'm pretty sure he was like, well, just try it, you know. And I tried it, and it worked out.
Yeah, and so that was just sort of the beginnings of the band. And I mean, you started. How old were you when you started that band?
Oh, I was older. I was
Yeah.
older already. I was like 29, 30.
Yeah,
I might have been 30 already.
sure. And so starting a band, what to me that's always sort of interesting is starting a band when you're older is a lot different than when you're starting when you're younger a little bit, right? There's a lot more
I mean,
responsibilities.
what you got to realize though is like I was never not in some type of bands with those guys. We were always playing together in all different bands and different variations since we were kids. So it was just like one project after the other on top of each other. So it didn't necessarily feel like I was starting a band for the first time, or I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm trying to say?
I see.
It was
Yeah,
more
'cause
just like just some friends playing music together, and yeah, you know, we just kind
it's
of
like a new combination, but it's kind of the same people trying some different things. But it's
yeah,
like people
yeah.
you've known for a million years.
Oh yeah. Million. All the guys I play with like a small group of musicians. Um, I mean, if you look in all the stuff I do, you can find all the same guys doing different kinds of stuff here and there.
Sure.
You know, whether it's Mindforce or Pillars of Ivory or Out for Justice, a band I play drums and singing, and or Yacht Clubbers or some other projects I have coming out. The guys, everyone will be involved from that circle in some way or another, usually.
That's cool.
You know.
And so that's really everyone
What up,
from there.
John?
It's like a community-based vibe,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just kind of like this sort of thing. How did you kind of connect with those guys just growing up? Were they the people that you grew up around, like going to school, things of that nature? Or was it like, did music bring you guys together? How did you kind of come to know that group of people that you've been with for so long?
Yeah, well, like for instance, you know, all those guys I came about in different ways, but if you take like Nick and Mike from Mindforce, you know, Nick I've known since 10th grade. You know, I met Nick because I was walking down the aisle to my math class desk, and he was drawing a biohazard sign on his.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I was
The
like,
wheel.
yo, I like biohazard too, man.
Yeah, like Tales from the Hard Side. What's up? Like this dude's into some real shit. So yeah, you just kind of growing up and meeting. I mean, that's not unlike me and Chris from the show and Artie. You know, I do the bar with Artie. Artie was in Mind Over Matter, which was one of my favorite bands growing up on Long Island.
Sick band. He was in that band?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
That's sick, dude. I love
Yeah.
that band. That's one of my favorite Long Island hardcore bands ever.
You know, man. Yeah. You know, like Auto Manipulation, like legendary in my mind. And then
sick.
Chris was in
Love
On
it.
the Might of
Love
Chris
it.
Chris was in On the Might of Princes.
Okay.
And I met Chris because he booked my first band, like when I was like in high school.
All right.
And that's how we met. And he was like already like a hero of mine, you know. And now, you know, we all three of us play in Primitive Weapons together, and you know, we're at the bar together, and then we do the show.
That's what's up.
Together.
That's what's up.
It's kind of the same shit, except we're on this.
Definitely.
We're on the other side of the city, you know.
Definitely, man. It's definitely the same shit.
Yeah, for sure. But so like
just friends creating together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's something about that where when you've been with people for a long time and you come from literally the same places, it's almost like you can communicate in a way that you almost can't with other folks. You share all this experience. It becomes easier and easier to kind of understand each other and even the musical language. Like I'm from fucking 2 hours away and I don't know who Dissolve is, you know? But you guys can talk on it and stuff like that. What was it just kind of coming, like Living Laser to me had like a lot of that post-hardcore kind of New Yorkish feel to it. And I love that shit. And I thought it was really cool. was there any talks about the sounds, or was it just something that came out of jamming? How did that sort of kind of come out? Because to me, I was like, oh, I think I know what these guys
With
are on.
Living Laser.
Yeah.
You know, Living Laser, there was in the beginning, but Living Laser was really, we didn't think anything of it, you know, when we started Living Laser. Mindforce, we were definitely like, okay, we're going to start a band, we're going to make a demo. Living Laser was real like, yo, will we play a show? I don't know if we'll play a show.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. And then, I mean, like, it's actually Jesse Bar, who was over here before, you know.
Who?
Jesse Bar, do you know him?
Fuck yeah, I know Jesse Bar.
Yeah. He was the one who turned me on to you guys. Him and
that's one of my good friends. Yeah.
Yeah, Bar is the fucking dude. So, you know, and I
might mosh you into oblivion.
Yeah, totally, man. You know.
Nah, you won't. He'll get you. You won't get away from him.
My head movement's all right, but yeah. So, and he was like, dude, these cats from you know, upstate that are like fucking, like, they're good. Like, check it out. And then I think Living Laser lasted maybe 4 or 5 years, and I know you guys are all kind of, you couldn't really tour that much and do that much of that sort of stuff, right? Because it seems you have a daughter and stuff like that. What's it like, kind of?
Oh yeah.
You know, kind of balancing the home life and shit
like
that. You know,
yeah, I mean,
when you try to do this stuff.
Yeah, it's not, you know, it takes a lot of commitment, you know. For us, like I was saying before, music was always something, you know, we never weren't playing in multiple bands all the time since we were in high school. So anybody, you know, who kind of came into our lives, you know, I mean, it's kind of like a part of our lives. So it is hard, but, you know, everybody sacrifices and works together because, you know, the people that love you know how much you love it, you know?
Yeah, so. For sure. It's the same sort of thing for me. And I mean, you know, I talked to the guys in Incendiary, even the guys in the Roses.
Oh, great dudes. Shout out to Incendiary. They're the best.
Great. But, you know, they got a similar setup. They do it as much as they can. And they have the stories of, you know, coming home from some weekend on Sunday night at 2 a.m. and having to wake up at, you know, 7 to go do their jobs the next day. It's like, there's always, everything that's good in life is worth its pound of flesh. But at the same time, it's like, you get to go out and do these great things. With Living Laser, it kind of surprises me that it sort of ended sort of when it did, because I felt like you guys were starting to get like a lot of momentum, and then it kind of changed, and then Mindforce kind of came up. Could you talk to me about why you guys kind of ended Living Laser and why Mindforce sort of came to be? What was the reasons behind that, since it's generally the same people?
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, there's really nothing behind that, you know. We switched some members. When we switched some members, we were like, you know, maybe this is the right opportunity to switch the sound to a heavy degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Mindforce, I mean, Living Laser was very punk, especially the early stuff. It was very hardcore punk. You know what I mean? And Mindforce is real metal.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, we said, oh, you know, we got some different members, and we were like, we want to change the sound and change the name and start fresh, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that sometimes it's cool to maybe put something down and start something new and just be like, all right, let's reimagine this. It's just to give yourself like something new to do, right? Like, as musicians, we have to kind of grow and change and do different shit to kind of keep things interesting, right? I mean,
yeah.
So like, why not kind of try this sort of more crossover influence sort of thing? So when you were thinking about this sort of rebrand, making it this more metal sound, what were the things that you were like, yeah, I want to try and achieve this? Like what were the bands or certain things that you were interested in, or was it just like, hey, this is where we're at?
Yeah, well, you know, we just kind of wanted to start a new band, and we wanted it to be like. It was at the time we were wanting to do something heavily influenced by like crossover, but specifically like New York hardcore crossover, like Leeway, Icemen, Cro-Mags, all those bands. You know what I mean? Crossover shit, but you know, heavily New York hardcore crossover shit.
Sure.
Killing time. You know?
Flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably my you know, it's one of my favorite type of sounds, and yeah, that's what we wanted to do, and there, there wasn't a ton of bands doing it at the time. There was a few, I think, but yeah, that's what we wanted to do.
yeah,
You know,
totally. I mean,
that's it.
and I like at least for me, like I got it right away. I was like, oh, this shit sounds like
Oh,
Crumbsuckers and like
yeah, this guy says, was Slayer an influence? Yeah, Slayer most definitely was an influence.
oh,
Um,
100%. I mean, they influence everybody.
I'm gonna get my guitar player a full Slayer print sweatsuit for Christmas this year. I don't know if he's in here, but he might hear that. I'm gonna get you that Slayer sweatsuit.
Yeah, man, the whole thing, man. Get it kitted out. We
Shit's
love that.
crazy. It's got Slayer everywhere, all over it, and he'll wear it around his house, I bet.
Oh, hell yeah. You get me one too.
Yeah, I won't wear that shit, man.
Nah, not for you.
Yeah, I love Slayer though. I love Slayer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you influence everybody. Incredible band, and obviously, like they were. I think that actually, out of all of the thrash bands, that band plus hardcore kind of makes that New York, kind of crossover sound. And I love the. I mean, I feel like
There's Mike.
I think people kind of picked up on what you guys are doing right away and kind of got behind, like, okay, we get it. Like they just understood it right away, even off the demo. Did you feel like, oh shit, we started to achieve what we kind of set out? Like we put the sound out there and people kind of caught on.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I think people got it. Not, every once in a while you read a review that's kind of wild and crazy, but you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? But
Sure,
yeah, we were just so, ever since Mindforce did anything, we've just been having a great response, and it's just so fucking sick. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
For sure, absolutely. It really is, and the records are just great, man. And you guys have had, another full length dropping, and all this. You have the EP. What was it like, and why did you seek out working with Arthur to do records with? Arthur
Oh shit! Oh, because he's fucking a living legend. What up, Arthur? No, he's just we just think his work is amazing. His production throughout the years, he's just sort of defined a modern metal, modern hardcore sound. Especially, we love his band, Eternal Champion.
Amazing band. Just put out a record today.
Amazing fucking record. Is off the chain. Off the chain. I love it. And, that was one of the bands, the guitar sound on those records was one of the bands. I'm pretty sure that Mike, was one of the reasons why we were like, yo, we need to get this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's really amazing too, because obviously Arthur's produced so many great bands, Power Trip, Iron Age, Prurient. I mean, like Ghostman, like all over the shop, and all of it has a really amazing quality. And I love all of Arthur's work. And what was funny, it was like me and him were talking the other day, and I was like, hey man, this I heard this new Mindforce song. It sounds cool. He's like, dude, that's my favorite hardcore band on earth. And I was like, wow,
that's sick. Yeah,
and
well, that's crazy. Yeah.
Just singing your praises and how great working with you guys is and the band was, and I was just like,
well,
dude,
it goes both ways. Yeah,
totally, because I feel like it was like the perfect combination, because Arthur's a Philly guy, he knows that sort of East Coast crossover sound in and out, and it really kind of came through. As far as one thing that I always like to kind of talk to people about, as far as their bands and stuff, it's like there's obviously the musical and everything like that, but then there's the aesthetic presentation around the record, the artwork, everything else. Mindforce, I think, really had or has like this really cool sort of kind of crossover, the graffiti kind of logo, a couple different things that kind of made you feel like it could have even been of that era. Who does the artwork for the band, sets the tone in that world?
A lot of different people, and that is what we're going for. The stuff we grew up loving, just thinking it looks so fly and cool, and you know what I mean. One thing with the band is definitely some stuff has some darker tones, but I don't like to go any like real dark imagery with it because I just like to keep it real East Coast. But as far as the graffiti, I mean, a lot of different people have done it over the years. You know, the main logo, our boy Tommy did. Who else does a lot of stuff? My boy Beatles done stuff before. My wife does a lot of stuff. My wife Tiffany does a lot of stuff. It's been all. There's other people I'm forgetting to mention that are probably like, you know, fuck you, you forgot. But just recently, you know, some different people did some shit for this Dark Medicine drop we did.
Sure.
But, you know, it's all over the place. It's not one person. It's not one person.
Got it. So,
you know.
You kind of like work with a bunch of different artists and different people.
Yeah. The only consistent person to do shit multiple times is probably my wife, Tiffany. My wife.
Got it. So Tiffany is the unofficial Mindforce art director.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. But she's in there. She's in there.
I'm getting I don't know. That's just who the fuck I am. But no, that's really cool, and it's interesting because it still holds like a certain integrity. I feel like I could see a Mindforce record, and it's just like it's cool. And you're right, like the themes. It feels.
Get some more water for a sec.
Sure, it feels just, you know, it feels like you guys like it's not trying too hard, and it just feels like it could have been pulled out of the pages of a magazine that had like a Leeway record. You know, advertisement next to it. So it's fucking tight. As far as, you know, kind of doing Mindforce and stuff, obviously we've talked a lot about that, but I want to talk about another project you've been working on called Pillars of Ivory.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I really wasn't sort of expecting necessarily what I heard, you know, like.
Oh, that's cool. That's what we want.
Yeah, cool. It was. I really enjoyed it, just because of that. You know, like Mindforce, I kind of felt like I knew what I was going to kind of get myself into. I heard it was a crossover band, and it just delivered. And it just delivered. It was just, and that's hard to do. Like, okay, cool. It's fucking sick. Pillars of Ivory, you told me about it last week, you know, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna check this out and see what it is. And it was this 2 18-minute demos, really, like 20-minute demos that were really put together like mixtapes with all these awesome sort of hip-hop interludes, DJ interludes, and then also this sort of like almost like Burn-esque hardcore. Between, like, I was feeling like, again, when you talk, you know, we're talking Mind Over Matter, we're talking about Die 116, Burn, we're talking about Absolution, and I was
totally
like,
that,
I live for this shit. That's like Still Suit. This is like some of my favorite shit on earth.
Still Suit's a big Pillars of Ivory influence, man. And Still Suit, especially the singer Julian, is a big influence on what I do in general. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Julian's the man. Absolutely. You know, on and off stage. But I love Still Suit. They're one of my absolute favorite New York bands ever.
Oh hell yeah, me too, man. Me too.
But I was so at first I put it on and I was like, okay, hip hop, you know, super cool, kind of dusty 90s golden era. Like I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this, and then it kind of goes into these bursts of post-hardcore songs. Talk to me about just the project in general and how you kind of conceived of it. Because then I started looking at the artwork and other things, and I was like, I don't really know what to say about it except that it's cool and unexpected.
That's really like the brainchild of me and the other singer, one of my good friends, Aaron from Death Threat. We came up with the idea for the band kind of together, you know. We, ever since he moved back from shout out to Death Threat. By the way, you know, when I was talking about those bands before that had an influence in shaping me, Death Threat is one of probably the biggest Connecticut hardcore band that has just been a huge influence musically in my life. Not just like everything from how to write a song to, you know, I love them. And when Aaron moved back from California, we were chilling a lot, eating pizza a lot, making pizza a lot, you know, smoking ganja a lot. And I was like, yo, man, I want to do this band where, you know, it's like hip hop and hardcore, but in a different way, you know, where it's like heavy hip hop. You know what I mean? Long hip hop instrumentals and only bursts of hardcore. And he was like, yo, let's totally do it. And then we sort of like molded a vision for it together. And at the time we were going to do like really fast, short hardcore songs. But then I don't remember what happened. The idea like fell to the wayside. And then once again, like later on, a year later, we're, you know, praising Josh, smoking pizza, doing what we do. And idea came up again, and we were like, yo, but let's make the music post-hardcore. And then we got Jack, the guitar player from Age of Apocalypse, a fucking poppin' Hudson Valley band. And he totally got the vision, and he jumped in. And yeah, it's sort of like me, Aaron, and Jack's brainchild.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really comes across like what I like about it from like a listening experience is like, so I love Mindforce, and it's just like boom, banger, track, boom, track, you know, and it's like you take it in bites. Whereas with Pillars of Ivory, it's like I don't know what happens next, but I'm just on this more. It's almost like listening to a DJ set, right? It's more like in this long form sort of way. Like if your friend put something together for you, and you had like a cool mixtape of all this stuff. But if somebody actually mixed it as if like you were like in a club or you were in a listening environment and I had to do it for you, which I thought that was great. It really kind of kept me looking for like the next turn. What was the idea behind just like sequencing that shit that way as opposed to kind of making it a little bit more sexy?
Yeah. Well, first, let me say I see homie, shout out to LA. Send peace from Los Angeles down there. But yeah, no, I wanted it to come across as a mixtape. You know, the instrumental hip hop tracks are, you know, they're a little longer, and you know, the samples, the way they're placed throughout them, kind of tell a story, or at least they're supposed to. And I wanted to make sure people didn't skip those and just go to the post-hardcore songs, you know. So I wanted to force the listener, you know, like you said, like a mixtape.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's all one track, right? Like
it's all one track. It's not all one song, but it's all one track. Yeah.
And I noticed that right away.
Yeah.
And then once I noticed what was happening, like I'm like, oh, all right, I kind of understood it. I was already like 10 minutes in, and I was like, this is so sick because I'm locked in, and like you don't give me any recourse of the listener any other way. They're like, dude, you got to fucking just.
Yeah, I mean,
with what's next, and I love that though. I like the kind of like get into it and just be in the moment with it. Don't worry about the next thing or the next thing. Just be here.
Yeah, I mean, we went back and forth whether we should do it or not, and then we're like, yeah, I mean, you could just all you got to do is put your finger on the thing and make the, you know, you just go to where the song is you like. Sure. And it takes, you know, it doesn't take a lot, you know. But
dude, we used to have to fast forward tapes and record songs off the radio.
You know. But yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come with Pillars of Ivory. You know, we have a split coming up that I think I could talk about, but
talk about it.
Well, yeah,
two demos are out, right? So
yeah, those two demos, which kind of, you know, they're kind of meant to be. They came out like within a month of each other because we wrote it all at the same time, and we kind of wanted it should be listened to kind of like one thing.
Sure.
But and the stuff we're doing now, we're recording kind of like the same kind of thing, same kind of setup. You know, the sample driven instrumentals plus the post hardcore shit. Yeah, we're almost done recording, and I think it's our best stuff. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
That's tight.
Along with this last Mindforce song we did too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fucking great, and the EP and stuff like that. So everything's sort of kind of building for you right now. As far as Pillars of Ivory and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys played out live yet?
Oh no, that all went down during quarantine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause I was so curious to even think about how you would want it. Like in my head, I was like, how are they going to pull this off, like live, or try and keep that vibe, or whatever have you? I don't really know, and I kind of don't care because I'm just in it, listening to it, having fun.
Yeah,
like then I was like, I wonder if they've even fucking tried it or had the opportunity to, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we have a plan for when we do. You know, not gonna give too much away, but it's gonna be the craziest. It's gonna be. I'll tell you right now. You bring somebody who saw the Beatles to a Pillars of Ivory show, they're gonna be like, fuck, the fucking Beatles, they ain't shit.
I love
It's
it.
gonna blow your mind. And shout out to everybody commenting. I see everybody commenting.
Absolutely.
And thanks for everybody.
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And, you know, lots of love for Mindforce in the comments, obviously.
Yeah, but Pillars, the new Pillars of Ivory, it's better than the Beatles. It's better than anything that you heard that won a lot of awards.
So there you go. So Pillars of Ivory, better than the Beatles. Mindforce, better than the Beatles as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to put both of them in the same category. I feel it. I love it. So
Yeah.
After that, my buddy Drew Castle, who does the artwork for Age of Quarantine, who's the fucking sickest dude, plays in Total Meltdown with Chris, great hardcore band that's come out of Brooklyn right now.
Oh,
and he's like, he's like, yo, he does this shit. He produces a shit called Yacht Clubbers, which you mentioned before. And I was like, and he sent it to me, and I was just like, oh, snap.
I do that with Nick. Nick from Mindforce is the dude I do that with. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So are you just producing all that stuff, or tell me about that project?
Yeah, that's me and Nick. So you know, honestly, the shit I started, me and Nick kind of got into making beats together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we first started making beats on fucking, you know, with the shittiest equipment ever. Not that our equipment is much better now, but we and then once I started doing Pillars of Ivory, I kind of got the confidence to maybe do, you know, a full EP or something that was like all hip hop instrumentals, sample driven shit. And I also just love working with Nick, and me and Nick are really into, like, you know, we just the way we have one foot in the hardcore scene, our other foot is in the underground hip hop scene, and it's just exploding right now, and we're really inspired by it. And we made those beats together, you know, sending them back and forth, sampling records, and also, you know, adding little sounds and shit with Ben. What up, Ben?
Yeah.
By Jay. Yeah. Little sounds and some live instrumentation, but very minimal, you know. And
kind of keeping it a little bit more pure to kind of that sample-driven 90s hip-hop shit.
And we're gonna,
And you're right. I mean, that's coming back in a huge way with everything that Griselda's doing. You know, I mean, at Buffalo, what's up? Crushing. Yeah. That's still New York, I think.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is, man. Those dudes are running shit right now.
They're totally running shit, and also, you know, even the rise of, like, say, somebody like Freddie Gibbs.
Love him.
Alfredo.
Yeah, maybe the record of the year for me.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. We listened to a lot of the same shit, clearly, but what I was sort of like, you know, I was picking up exactly with those interludes. You know, and you told me to listen to Pillars of Ivory, and I did it before, and then Drew comes at me with, like, dude, this guy's made, like, a whole record, like hip hop shit, like, completely. And I was like, I had no idea. So that way, that was really interesting to me, and super cool that it went like all the other ways.
Yeah.
So you have like Mindforce is like all the way hardcore, Yacht Clubbers maybe all the way hip hop, and Pillars of Ivory better than the Beatles in the middle. Both.
Yeah, most definitely. I like the way you put that. I want that on my gravestone.
There you go. Somebody in the comments wrote White Album 2, and I think White Album 2 has got to be the name of the...
that's good. I like that. I could picture, I picture like Coke everywhere on the cover.
Yeah, White Album 2.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Dude, I think you look good in a white suit, man. I see it. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, certain type of parties, you need to wear all white too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for instance, if you're on a yacht, you might want an all-white windbreaker. You know what I mean? That seems about right.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're in the Hamptons at Diddy's house, I'm from Long Island. I'm wearing white.
Yeah, well, you got it all white. You know, sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes it's necessary. I love that. So we have the 3 projects, and am I missing anything, or are those the 3 main?
You are missing a couple.
What do we got?
I'm in another band called Alice. All right. And we have a new record coming out. I'm not sure. There's my daughter trying to make faces at me, get me to laugh, but I'm not gonna.
Ah,
Yeah, Out
so
for Justice, is another one of my projects that, is just as much anything. And I say I'm one of like probably about eight. That band has about 8 singers. I'm one
oh
of 8 singers. Yeah, we have about 18 members.
oh shit.
Yeah, 18 members, and we have a new record coming out. Shout out to Out for Justice. If you don't know Out for Justice, listen to it. Check it out. It's gonna fucking kick your ass all over the place.
That's good. See, I'm here. It's like I'm with Stan Lee. I'm in the fucking Marvel universe of Jet.
I don't know about that.
I'm understanding all of it. But yeah, it's really cool because another friend had told me about Pillars of Ivory, but I had never had the chance to just listen.
Yeah.
It reminded me, like, oh, I got to check it out. But I didn't know about Out for Justice. I didn't know about Yacht Clubbers, But once you start talking about these things, they all start kind of, coming together in the discography and learning about that sort of stuff. So when you were kind of like learning, obviously you learn to, write hardcore and do all that stuff. Is the hip hop stuff a little bit newer, and are you kind of experimenting a little bit more there, or has that kind of been always sort of in the back burner and the shadows a little bit for you as far as production and doing stuff like that?
Yeah, that's always been on the back burner. I'm bringing that more. I figure, hold on, my phone's falling over here. I have this. I got it leaning on a candle. I spent a lot of time creating this device. Yeah. I mean, I really want to bring that more into the forefront, to be honest with you, because I'm getting older. I can only jump off the stage. I don't know how much longer.
Yeah, totally. How many more flips and dips and everything else that we got in us? But at the same time, it's just really cool to me to sort of see somebody go straight into something like that, and I didn't know if it was the same. For me, I make techno. I make like industrial techno in under the name Confines in my room.
Oh, dope!
Amassing all of these, if we look over here, I mean, it's just whiskey and synthesizers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's sick.
Yeah, all over the place. And so I also feel sort of the same way as well as you. It's like I want to be able to do something where I can either do it with maybe not too many other people or myself, so I can continue to create and do stuff. And when the band stuff does get together, and when I can do it, that's cool too. I love it as well, right? Do you feel?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like that's also like part of it? It's like, oh, I can just kind of do this shit on my own, or like with one other homie, and it's like easy to manage.
Yeah, I definitely. For me, it's all about keeping in that circle, that bigger circle. Like everyone from the circle is not in every project, but every project includes somebody from the circle. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's the philosophy. And these guys were asking questions. POI, yeah, we're gonna play a live show. It's gonna be better than the Beatles. I said that before.
Totally, dude. I'm ready. White Album 2 release party at Saint Vitus. We're gonna put it together, man. We're gonna paint the whole place instead of black. We'll paint it white. And
just Jeremy. What up, Jeremy? I know Jeremy. He's from the Hudson Valley.
He's from the Hudson Valley, absolutely. So, as far as just sort of obviously what's to expect, we have some Pillars of Ivory split coming up. Mindforce is a new full length is coming out, right?
No.
Or just the same.
Nothing new planned for Mindforce. Nothing new planned for Mindforce.
Just the one track. That's all we're getting.
Yeah, we just did the one track. I mean, none of the stuff I do follows any sort of model of how to do things, And Mike, I'm not going to talk about his life and everything, but he's, he has some medical stuff he had to go on still from his accident. He got into a bad accident, and
car accident.
Yeah,
I
and
wasn't sure if I should bring that up.
At the time, he just wrote a song. We wrote songs for Swinging Swords, Chopping Lords, and then afterwards he wrote another song kind of in the same vein, and I was like, yo, let's just go record it before you you go into recovery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great. That's super cool that it can happen. And that was obviously something that wasn't sure how it, obviously life affects bands. And oftentimes, people just see the work that you put out as an artist, but they don't see all of the different things behind the scenes that either make things happen or don't make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, Mike and I are always, part of one of the pillars of our friendship is creating together. And we're always talking about Mindforce song ideas and even sending, every day sending stuff back and forth to each other. But there's no like plans to record anything or do an album. I really don't know if there's, I don't know. I mean, full lengths, that takes a lot of work,
Sure. Well, when it happens,
I like doing, yeah.
When it happens, and that's totally cool. Sometimes it's just about letting things play out. Like you said, nothing for you. It just kind of like let it be. It'll come when it's right?
Yeah. Whenever we feel like it, we'll do it. And that could be, who knows when that'll be, though. I'll be honest. I don't know when that'll be.
And it also, that's what's cool about having multiple projects as well, because for yourself creatively, right, you can kind of, maybe, all right, cool, like I understand where that is right now, and then I could also maybe take time to make more Pillars of Ivory or do more production work or other things like that, right?
Most definitely.
Are there any other, besides yacht clubbers and stuff like that, have you ever produced for any other artists outside of the circle at all, or has it been really mostly?
I stay inside the circle. Oh, actually, yeah, I did I produced a track. Shout out to the skit god, Lukey Cage. I don't know if he'll hear this, but he's one of my favorite artists in the hip hop underground right now. I produced a track for him for a comic book. Shit, what was the name of it? Damn, man, it's escaping me. I've been involved in all sorts of Friday night activities before I did this. I can't remember. Death something it's called, but it's a comic book. We did a song for a comic book.
That's right.
Death Blazers.
Death Blazers. Gotcha.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
That's the name of the comic book and album, and you did some production work on it.
I did a song. We did a song for a comic book. I did it with this, my homie, this rapper, the skit god, Lukey Cage. Shout out to Lukey Cage. If you don't know Lukey Cage, seek him out. He's known for his skits. He raps too. He's great at both.
That's cool. Sweet. So, was that one of the first times that you ever kind of went out, sort of outside yourself and stuff like that to do any production work?
Yeah, outside of the circle, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. How did that feel?
Oh, it was great. It was fun. We sampled Metallica. It was dope.
That's tight. We sampled Metallica. It was fucking great. That's absolutely sick. Well, look, man, we're about to wrap up. We got like a minute left, so I just want to say thank you for taking the time out.
Oh, yeah, man.
It was super fucking sweet. Check out all of Jay's work, man. We got Mindforce, we got Pillars of Ivory, we got Out for Justice, we got Yacht Clubbers, we got hip hop, we got hardcore.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do we need anything else, honestly?
No, man. Just thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Streets of Hate, Days, Triple B, all my homies. Lukey Cage. Yeah, man. Yeah. So shout out to Streets of Hate, Brass City, Streets of Hate, Days, Triple B. And thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Dude, absolutely, man. And congrats on all the good work. And, we'll all be working in the shadows until we can have shows again. So looking forward to that, all right? Peace.
Yeah, all right. Peace, man. Thank you.
Peace.